Hi, I'm comedian Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny, streaming live with my special guest on the Price of Fame podcast. We feature entertainment professionals on the show and find out what sacrifices were made to reach their level of success. Look forward to learning about how our guests have overcome mental health challenges, achieved success breakthroughs, what you need to know about the industry, and how you know when you actually have a talent that needs to be shared with the world. Take these episodes as your personal mentorship guidance on how to be a successful entertainer. We chat to those who have made it in South Africa and abroad. Let's make the SA entertainment industry the most supported by locals, because local talent is liquor talent. Subscribe now to keep up to date. You can also find us on all social platforms. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another episode of The Price of Fame. I forgot what episode this is. It's probably 18, but yeah, you're here, so that's what's important. My name is Lunga Tshuka, and I'll be your host. Tonight's guest, ladies and gentlemen, is a dynamic duo who has kept the magic in the family for over 10 years, combining the sounds of violin, guitar, and beatboxing, quickly making a name for themselves internationally, where they have performed in 17 cities across 10 countries. Without further ado, ladies and gents, you already know what it is. Please make some noise as I welcome to screen. They go by the name of Acoustic Element.
Sorry, I never. Thank you, sorry. What's up? How's it, guys? How's it? What's up?
How you guys doing?
Good, thank you. How are you?
I am very well, thank you. And first and foremost, I'd just like to say thank you so much for making some time to be a guest on my show tonight. I know you guys are very busy. I know one is currently at a party, and it's Callen that is going to take us a pee and smoke break. They're probably wondering where he is, and they're probably going to start looking. Yeah.
They just brought, I don't know if anyone saw that, but someone just brought me a tequila shot, literally. That's crazy.
Hilarious. I love it. I love it. Tell them to change it every now and then. Next time they must bring it for something else.
No.
Keep it a surprise.
Let's not do that. But Lunga, so nice to see you. Callen, nice to see you too.
Nice to see you.
Phone,
It is.
Sure.
It is. Can you see the pixels? Like,
I can actually see your face for the
you can see my face.
Yeah.
Nice.
22 upgrades, upwards and onwards. Keep moving. All right, gentlemen. You guys are awesome. We got a little taste now for those viewers who haven't met Acoustic Element just yet. We got a taste of what you guys do in the a short clip in the intro. I've also done a little bit of research, and I really enjoyed some of you guys' interviews and the performance that you did. And you guys made some really big noise across the world. I don't know if you saw this coming when you started out the movement. That you're actually going to reach so far and that you're going to touch so many people and inspire so many people. But we get into all of that. Excuse me. We get into all of that. So in my intro, I kind of said that you guys have been doing this for like 10 years, right? Before I get to you guys coming together 10 years ago, I want to get into the individual journeys, because I know like it's not like music met you when you guys met. You've obviously been artists way before that, and you kind of had your own journey that led you to that point. So I don't know, let's give each other a chance here, and then we can find out where did it really all start for you as an individual, just before you guys came together, and what moment did you guys actually realize, we should actually collaborate and become something bigger than what we are as individuals. So I don't know who wants to go first, Jody or Callen. It's entirely up to you guys, but I want to know from the beginning, what was it that made you create whatever you are today?
Callen, are you going to do it, or am I going to do it?
I think we can meet each other halfway in the middle.
You go. I'm going to take a shot.
We both grew up with music. Music runs kind of in our families. And what's interesting is we both learned music in different sectors. So Jody was in jazz, I was in classical. And, we became like masters of our crafts from a really early age before we knew each other musically. Obviously we've been cousins our whole lives. But before we decided to do Acoustic Element, I was in playing in orchestras around, and I was in the Cape Philharmonic Orchestra and playing in string quartets, and Jody was in jazz bands, and we were just kind of doing our own thing. And one day I got a booking with my group that couldn't make it, and that's where I contacted Jody. He luckily couldn't make it that day. And then he made it the next time, and it sort of just became a thing. Which was amazing. But then the kicker was one Christmas, I just so happened to get a new violin, and Jody happened to get a new guitar. Pretty much completely by chance, like we were in green today. It just happened. We just started playing Christmas carols together.
Wow.
And someone tipped us a large amount of money. It wasn't a large, but someone tipped us some money, and we thought as students we could do something with this.
Yeah. Oh, so was that recognition of you guys being tipped? Was that what actually made you guys like, hey, like we got something going on, people appreciate
100%.
Was that basically
it was the shift between we can do this versus we can make money from this. It was the shift between like, we have talent, we can make people happy, to hey, we can actually make this a viable business.
Yeah.
And as individuals, how was the cash flow back then, when you were on your own journeys with your own bands?
Well, I would say there's no such thing as cash flow. I'd say at the time, we were entrepreneurs from that. The second we realized we could make money from playing violin and guitar, we became entrepreneurs, and I think we never looked for money again.
Yeah.
Within that sphere,
But also like,
continue.
Sorry, as you were.
No. Please continue. I was going to jump to Jody because I was going to ask you in turn, but yeah.
But prior to us making that first little bit of cash, I think it's important to note that music was never the goal. It wasn't ever the occupation that we had in mind. So we really we learned to love and grow into our instruments without that pressure of we are going to be musicians that need to rely on this, So we zoned in on a whole different aspect of music. And I think at the right time, we realized we can also become entrepreneurs with it, which is cool.
That's pretty awesome. Jody, is there any parts of that story that you felt that Callen didn't cover? Maybe some parts of your individual story that kind of like brought you to that moment as well?
Yeah. I mean, Callen basically summed it up perfectly. But it's funny because the first time Callen asked me to play with him, he had a group called Tuning Fork before that, and they were amazing. So we were all very closely interlinked within our schools systems. Like, it's weird, but the point being that Callen had an amazing group that he played with before. But then he asked me, his younger cousin, he was like, Jody, I need you to save me. And I said, I'm sorry, Callen, I can't. I'm playing cricket. I actually was playing cricket for my club back then, the club cricket, whatever. And it was a 2-day game. And I said, Callen, I can't let my team down on the second day of a 2-day, bro. It's like fucking, it's like we've got a thing. But then he was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, the next week is like, can you play? And I was like, well, technically, yes, I can let my team down now. And then I played. And that day, my fingers bled that day on the tips, my fingers, because this man is a machine on the violin. I don't know if you've heard him play. But still today, it's been 12 years since that day, that first day I let my cricket team down and played with this man, the guitar. And it's been 12 years to that day. We played in probably 18 different countries up now. We've played for Justin Bieber, Bill Gates, Roger Federer, Rafael Nadal. We play for John Travolta next month. And it's been 12 years since that day when he asked me to leave my cricket team to come play with him. My fingers bled, and we actually, that's the day I feel our lives changed.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like I can pinpoint a whole lot of times in our career where it's been like a dual thing where we've both done the same thing at different times in different spheres, and like he's mentioning this now, but it's one train of thought that I said, yeah, play the guitar with me, but it's another train where Jody said, let's quit our jobs. So it always takes like one person to say something, and it's kind of easier to do something risky when another person is there with you. If that makes sense. Like it's easy to say, hey, let's all go skydiving together. Okay, then you're like, oh, let's go. But if you go alone, it's a lot more scary. You know what I mean? So I think it worked. Everything worked out well in its time.
No, that is absolutely true, because with me moving into comedy, I was absolutely terrified. Like, it was never something that I wanted to do. It's something that people saw potential in me, if I would rather put it that way. Because I used to do emceeing, and emceeing I always used to do. I know I'm a funny guy, so whenever I was nervous with emceeing or whatever, I felt like, because I always felt like it's my responsibility to keep the energy of the crowd, to make sure that everybody knows what's in tune, So I always felt like the crowd has to be laughing, or they have to be in a good state. So I always used to do a joke or act silly or thing. And through that, people used to be like, are you a comedian? We'd like to see your comedy. And I was like, no, I'm just doing these things for MC, And also colleagues that I used to have, job that I used to work at, they were all like, we love the way that you tell stories. You should totally go into comedy. And it took me like some time, like, hey, got Martin, not only bringing the show. What drink is that now? What drink is that?
What are we drinking?
It's a new brandy.
It's a new brandy. Okay.
It's just a little bit.
It's my first brandy.
Everyone in the group should get it.
Oh, it's a Cliptive brandy, isn't it?
It's a Cliptive brandy, and when you get drunk, then you break the bottle, and then, oh my God, it's a clip, and then the drip.
Have you seen the latest Mark Larkin Cliptive things that came out? It was unbelievable.
Show the game
for you some more. What else would you like?
No, this is all. Thank you, Mark.
Oh, jeez. Okay. Whatever else you
I'm
need.
working.
Jody,
I'm with Lunga. Okay. Thank you.
Hey, Mark.
Thank you. Watch his new show. It's out in theaters now. Okay. Sorry,
hilarious. Anyways, it's hilarious. Like I told you, keep them coming and keep it different. That is so hilarious. I'm sitting here with tea. I don't know. What are you? Are you even drinking anything?
I've got some water.
Nice. Let's see that water.
It's keeping it hydrated.
Nice.
But yeah, the point that I was trying to make is that I was afraid, and comedy was kind of like a huge risk for me, So But once I had another friend of mine who was like, yeah, you know what? I'm in the same boat and I'm also feeling very afraid about this thing, you know. And once it was a mutual thing, it was a lot easier for us to jump in and be like, let's do it.
100%.
So I fully understand where you're coming from. But Acoustic Element, before we get into all of that, I have a voice note that, so with season 2, something new that we've introduced to the show is that we have, because usually I do all the questions. So now it's always like ask questions afterwards, you know, and you never really get the opportunity to ask random questions. So I think we have a shout out from someone who tuned into the Price of Fame on the Anchor FM. So they can send voice notes and also ask questions to our guests. But don't worry, we view them before we play it to our guests so that we don't see weird situations going on here.
Oh, wow.
Man,
wow.
I wanted those questions. But anyways, I'm going to hand it to Saskia to cue that voice note and let's hear what came through for you guys.
Hi, Reba here from Huckleberry. I just want to give a shout out to Acoustic Element. I love your Havana version. It touched my soul, and good luck for tonight.
Oh, thank you so much.
Thank you. We actually just played that version. We just played that version of Havana in Provence in the south of France at a wedding a month ago, and it was actually their first dance, and they opted for the literal version of our acoustic album or Spotify. They were like, can you guys play exactly what you played on that version on Spotify? And they're like, sure. It's the first time ever that we do a first dance completely acoustic.
Yeah.
Violin, guitar, beatbox. Yeah. South of France, Provence. What a memory.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Okay. So we set it up nicely. Let's get into the journey of Acoustic Element. So you said the first time that you guys did your thing, you know, the first time that you got a spark of, hey, this can be something, was at a Christmas party. You did some Christmas tracks. People loved it. They paid you for it. You made a decision. This is who we are. Let's go. You know, let's not look back. Put everything into this journey, you know, and see what comes of it. And a lot has come from it. I mean, you said next month you're performing for, I don't know, I forgot who you named that, but let's begin from the Christmas party up until this point. Please describe the journey that you guys have been on.
Sure. It's been exciting, I can tell you that. But it's been quite an immense journey. We started when we were doing our normal jobs as well as studying. In the beginning while doing music, and we grafted. We played 4-hour gigs, 5-hour gigs, 6-hour gigs, just learning a repertoire. And you know, the more hours and the more opportunities, it was let's just play. We changed songs. We were doing classical, and then we moved into more pop stuff, and we sussed out what worked and what didn't work, and we learned to let go of music in its entirety and trust our ears. All the yards in this 3 years or 4 years that we did everything together, and then came the big moment of let's quit our jobs.
That's crazy. And like, I mean, it sounds amazing, you know, and what you guys put together is obviously something that many people haven't heard or experienced before. So I'm sure like new doors and crazy doors, you know, and opportunities opened up for you guys. So would you say that there was some opportunities that you guys maybe feel like, you kind of, no, I wouldn't say regret, because, you know, we don't really like to carry regret, but some opportunities that you guys have maybe not enjoyed so much? Are there any times like you guys felt like, you know, what are we doing? Or like, how did we even get here, you know?
That's an interesting question. There was one actually that comes to mind, and we don't often talk about this because we've generally been very successful at most of the endeavors we've, you know, taken on. But there was one. We were asked to be on the SA's Got Talent show actually once.
Oh, yeah.
This is probably 7-8 years ago, and we went through a little bit of the stages of the competition. As I'd say, like a preferred band, like we had already established ourselves to a certain degree in the industry. So you know, it wasn't just like we tying our luck. They actually did ask us, the production team, to be on the show. Anyway, moving along, got to a certain level, and then at some point we got to a point in the show. I can't remember the details, and to be honest, I don't care that much. But we got to a point in the show where we had to make a decision between taking an infinity contract from the show or pursuing our own contract with our record label, which we had at the time. And so we ended up sticking with the latter. And then they made it look like we fell out the show, obviously, whatever. And but then after that went independent, and I think it's been about Callen, 8 years now since we've been independent, and we've literally not looked at a record label, not looked at any sort of publishing distribution besides our main PR agent, who is John Fishlock, and doing all the things we've done with him. You know, we haven't really looked past of needed any kind of support from that structure at this point, which is amazing. That's independence at its finest, you know.
And like, sorry, what is there something you want to add, Callen?
No, I'm trying to think of what I can. I'm trying to first think if we signed an NDA before I say anything else.
I didn't. Sorry, I didn't. That's like 7-8 years ago. I didn't think.
Yeah, I'm sure
we
didn't start NDAs. I'm sure we didn't, right?
Callen, you'd have stopped me like 5 minutes ago, right?
I know. I'm first thinking about before I continue. I think what you said was perfect.
Oh, thank you.
No, I don't. I don't think it was a regret that we did it. I mean, it literally taught us the how to handle our first. Quite frankly, only, God willing, but our first like taste of rejection in the industry.
Yeah.
Even though
rejected,
because
she told us no. You are out of the show.
So it was an interesting one.
But Shadow, we're amazing. We played Rather Be. It was Clean Bandit. The people who made the song gave us a shout out on social media. How can you tell us it's not good enough for SA's Got Talent?
Yeah.
When the makers
also,
of the
they
song
told us
in
to
the
play
United Kingdom. Yeah.
It was an interesting one. You know what? It was a really interesting experience on live television.
Yeah. It was great. But anyway, other than that, Callen summed it up brilliant, you know.
There's so much I want to say about that experience, but I don't think we can.
Look. I mean, if you sign any NDA, you know, like if you're feeling like don't have anyone's feelings, let it all out. We're here to learn from it, especially if it's mistakes that we can learn from, you know. So don't hold anything back. But I just want to comment on what you guys said about, you know, how they span your story in a different way, you know, when you came out of competition. That is so whack because, like, there was another reality show, you know. I don't want to name the show because I don't know how these things work, you know. You can get canceled. Hey, you said this name. So there was a reality show, right? And it was a dance reality show, South African dance reality show, right? And there was this crew that I'm close with, you know, and they're a hip hop crew. And basically leading up, you know, the shots leading up, the production team told them, no, we want to see you guys like relaxed, you know, that don't really like dance in the studio, you know, just like do some stretches and just look relaxed. And they have like a nice place, you know, and like take us to the studio where you guys practice whatever. And then they capture all of those moments and the crew is just like, okay, cool, you know, they just want us to be chilled. And then, so this dance crew had to go up against another dance crew in this episode that they were preparing for. And now when they see the episode, they show that this crew is relaxed and chilling and all privileged. And then they show another less underprivileged dance. They told them a different story. They told them, they must practice in the street and practice in tough places. And then they build this fake story saying like, yeah, look at this rich privileged people, you know, that's just like lazy. Versus yes, and that kind of thing, you know. So this crew was so upset because they're like, that's not how we come across, you know, that's not what we put out there. Oh, why did they paint us in that kind of way? So these reality is not always reality, no? They
not
like
always
to
reality, yeah.
That's exactly what we experience.
It's 100% what we experience. But you know what, as I say, at least it taught us like a little bit of the bite of the industry. Yeah, it was an interesting one because like we went through the process and they psych you up. They get 4 yeses, everyone shouts like, woohoo, you're all in it. And then they basically tell you no afterwards, and you're a little bit confused by that. And then they proceeded to give us the contract, and we was like, well, you actually made it, but you have to sign this. And then we were like, no, we're not going to sign it. And then they aired the no. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
So
We spoke to like some professionals and stuff. Yeah.
So it was like, like a backup in case they say no, we'll just, all right, cue the button.
yeah, essentially.
100%. Exactly. That's exactly what they did. Yeah.
So it was an interesting one.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
and that's part of the reason why I despise reality TV, because people are unaware of the whole staged and programming that goes behind it. So they buy into it because it's a reality TV, and they allow themselves to be influenced by that. And for me, it's always, so I'm annoyed with reality shows. But as individuals, we live different lives, we lead different lives. Yes, you guys come together and you're amazing. But was there ever a time in your career, in your journey, where either one of you kind of felt like, you know what, I'm feeling unbalanced right now, where the one's like, hey, let's go, let's do this, and the one is like, I'm not in a good space right now, but you kind of had to push forward? Or maybe even like you had to cancel a gig because of, the unbalance between the two of you. Have you experienced anything like that?
Yeah, so we have.
I don't think so. Where?
No, there was a time.
Where? I'm confused.
I think in the 12 years that we've been going, I'd say there was one time where we weren't, maybe. And that was very, very understandable. And I respect actually Callen for what he did and how he handled it. But the passing of Callen's father was one time where it was very difficult for us to, Uncle Henry, it was just crazy. And but Callen, we didn't miss a gig, by the way. We have missed a gig, but that's separate to the story. Sorry. Okay, wait. Firstly.
Wow.
Anyone watching?
All the secrets now.
Callen and I have played probably, I don't know. I'm gonna guess over. Over 5,000 gigs, right? I don't know, 10,000 gigs, whatever. We played a lot of gigs in our 12 years. We do about 260 gigs a year, between 120 and 260 gigs a year for 10 years.
Yeah.
You can do the maths, right? But we did miss, was it 2 gigs, Callen? One. We missed 1 gig, and we missed a gig. It was
no one's fault. We both missed the gig.
We missed the gig, and then a few months later,
it was 2 gigs.
It was 2 gigs. Yeah, I thought so. Anyway, the point not being that. The point being, we're great musicians that will always rock up to your gigs when you book us.
Yeah, look, I would say we've estimated about between 800 and 1,000 gigs. I would think that's
have we?
Yeah, about 10,000 is a bit much. Let's say like 1,000, but missing 2 out of 1,000.
No.
If we could do about 200 a year towards the end of our career, and we've been doing it full time for about 8 years, so we got at about six years of 200-ish. That's about 1,200, right? So let's look at a maximum of 1.8. Let's say there.
There we go.
Going on a curve, but missing 2 gigs out of that
isn't that bad?
Yeah.
Lunga, you agree?
And during COVID, how did you guys cope through the whole 2 years of 2020 and 2021? How did you guys cope when entertainment and most things were like kind of down? Cope with that.
So yeah, COVID was said to us to be a pivot, like for Acoustic Element. A lot of people, especially in South Africa, didn't know about us at the time. We were doing like international gigs just before COVID. We did, I think, about 15 actually international gigs, and still there was a lot of people in Cape Town and Joburg that didn't know us. But after COVID, we found that everyone in Cape Town and Joburg now are very well aware, because we actually used the time to live stream. So what you're doing right now, essentially, we did on a show on a Tuesday and Friday on Facebook, YouTube, all streaming platforms. And yeah, it became quite huge. We got over 2 million views actually we did it for 2-3 months. Yeah, during the hard lockdown, the first hard lockdown, we did 80 sessions live. And yeah, it culminated into having, sorry, carry on, Callen.
You sold it very short. Like, in that sense, I just showed up and played the violin. Jody spearheaded everything. He taught himself how to live stream all the ins and outs of every single program and computer and thing that was happening. I was just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna, where must I stand? Where must I play? And he literally took that whole lockdown thing completely on his shoulders and blew out of proportion, which was great, you know. And honestly, like, a large part of the success of Acoustic Element is we are two completely different people who just have individual strengths that have a common goal, which is great. And one of his strengths was technology. Honestly, I think I would like to say I would hope that we would have done something if it wasn't for him during lockdown. But like, just statistically, you know, musicians didn't do much. They all just kind of waited for everything to happen. I would have also probably been one of those musicians, but luckily I had a Jody who made things happen, which is great.
That's awesome, man. Guys, you've been like, your story and your journey is amazing. You've been like around the world. You've performed and met some of the amazing people, you know, and like that you guys would have like propelled so far, you know, in such a short space of time. I mean, some of these achievements, musicians work like very long to have these opportunities, you know, and to be in some spaces that you guys have been in. Listen here, man, with that being said, I want to audition for you guys. You know, I feel like you guys need a third guy there. You know, I can do the trumpet sound. You know, I can.
He actually plays the trumpet.
Oh, there's no place for me.
No, but I mean, if you can do the trumpet sound, I can't play this.
Okay, let me audition for you quickly. Let me audition for you.
Let's go. I like your style.
Hey, what do you guys think? I do pitch.
I like your style, boy.
Okay, I'm gonna stop it there before it gets awkward.
I just got a really great idea. I imagine someone, I mean, like, there's a group that can play, you know, everyone does like air guitar or air something.
Yeah.
But if you do a whole group of people, like someone who can, you can air drums, so you beatbox with your mouth, but you pretend you're playing drums. You pretend you're playing trumpet. I can't air violin without a sound, but I mean, like, imagine you could really build a whole group of people that's all the instruments with your mouth, but they're actually acting it out. I like this idea.
That would be really cool.
That would be a great. We should get a group together and put them on a reality TV show.
We should do that.
Idea of having a production called the beatbox experience, where everything is kind of like, you know, like you said, the beatbox being the drums, you know, someone with a violin, but every instrument. And I've seen, I don't know if you guys heard of Naturally 7. They are a company.
Yes.
They do all the instruments. Your mind will be blown away.
Wow,
it's amazing.
Naturally 7. I'm gonna go check them out.
Yeah, dude, it's amazing.
Wow.
What is the most amazing opportunity that you got, you know, in your career that made you actually be like, what? Are we really being booked by this person, or is this a gig that we're really going to do now? Is there ever a gig that like really shoot you and like pin yourself and be like, I can't believe that we're being booked and we're going to fly and do this gig right now, or meet this amazing person? Can you name if it's one or two or just some of the few most iconic moments that you'll never ever forget? Be like that also helped you, and you know that you kind of learned so much from that experience and kind of helped you in your brand as well.
Yeah, of course. I'll take this one, Callen. We've got various highlights in our performance field, but I think the day we were asked to play for the Gates Foundation was the Federer and Gates Foundation. The matchup, which was in Cape Town, held at Cape Town Stadium. Trevor Noah played with, I think it was Bill Gates and versus Nadal and Federer, which was amazing. We played for them the night before that, which is unbelievable. Funny enough, I'm at Mark Lottling's place right now, who's a very good friend of Trevor Noah, who was with Mark on that night that we played for Bill Gates, because Trevor didn't come to the dinner we were playing at. And if I'm not mistaken, that dinner costed about $250,000 per person. Sia Khaleesi was in the audience, and Rachel, who, by the way, when Sia and Rachel walked down next to Bill Gates and Melinda Gates, who were still married at the time, Federer and Nadal, he came straight up to us and hugged us. And I was like, fucking Sia, I'm trying to play the guitar. And this big man hugging me, like saying, like, I'm like, bro, I know it's a big moment, but I need to play for Bill Gates. Yeah, very special. That would be one of the best. And then we also had the opportunity of playing for Justin Bieber at the one and only hotel. We've also played for Charlize Theron. We've played for DJ Snake. We've played for
John Legend, Mariah Carey.
Not to mention, next month we're playing for John Travolta in Austria. We're actually flying to go play at an air show for John Travolta. He's got a fleet of air, whatever. He's got planes and stuff. He flies. He flies. So
there's been a lot of memorable performances and things that we're like, wow. But in hindsight, I think the gig that completely changed the pivot of our career was the first gig and first contract that we did with the one and only hotel. I don't think we realized the amount of people that we would have played for there, the amount of celebrities, but the amount of people that we met that flew us overseas to play for their private functions that led to more and more and more and more. So in hindsight, I think that was probably the most special gig, that first time, that audition, if you will, that we played for the one and only hotel, which we probably wouldn't have thought so then. Yeah. But looking back that day.
100%. Yeah. Still today, the one and only book us for their New Year's Eve parties. We play for them. We're actually going to a launch of theirs next week. Yeah, the place is amazing. They're world class.
Awesome stuff. And between the two of you, who would say is, let's say, who is more focused on creating, like the art, the new music and all of that, and who is more focused on the aspect of the whole thing?
Well, it's interesting because
you tell us. Wait, you've just met us online. I would like to know what you think, actually.
Okay, well, judging from what Callen told me about how you quickly transformed, during the lockdown space, and that you didn't take it as like, when are things coming back? You took it immediately as we need to evolve. Everyone is going digital. You got to go digital. And I saw Callen early on I saw you guys together, but early on there was a few snippets of Callen like going crazy, like using his whole body to play the violin.
Yeah.
So Callen is the creative one, the artist one. He likes to dream and be like, you know what, I have this concept, or let's try this song. And I feel like you're the one who's like, okay, cool, that's what we want to do. And you kind of like map it out and be like, cool, this is where we're gonna do. This is how we're gonna do. We need to make more money. We need to move forward in this kind of way.
Ding 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 ding.
So I think.
Well, wait. And I'm the one in the band that ties it all together, that keeps you guys laughing, So I'm going to just come. So next time, bring me with. Remember my trumpet.
Honestly, the word create, it can mean so many things. Like, yes, there's creation in a studio, which Jody takes more of the lead. It's creation in a performance, or how you look in a performance, which I'm not lead. Then there's a creation in performance where sometimes, you're just not, I'm not feeling it, and Jody's doing his thing. And then sometimes, I'm playing around. There is creation in making money, which he takes it. It's so, there's so many aspects to be creative. It's not just like performance is one thing. You know what I mean? It's to have a functioning livelihood or business. It's every aspect. You need to be creative and innovative. So in that sense, I honestly do think we both take our roles and go with it.
Yeah.
who are your music idols? Where do you like inspiration from, and where you feel like, I've learned so much from these people? And if one day, like, what would really make me happy as a musician is to really just have a conversation with this person, or even share the stage with this person. So who would that be for the two of you guys? And collectively, do you guys have someone or a group that you admire collectively? And tell me what is individually.
I think when we started, we both really admired the fact that Clean Bandit, for instance, was a group of instrumentalists. Firstly, that was making waves. So I think by that sense, we were both kind of intrigued with what they were doing, using live instruments and electronic. And a cool day was when they actually tweeted us. They tweeted us. It was the days of Twitter and Facebook when that was rife.
And Facebook. Facebook also.
And Instagram.
And Instagram, yeah.
That was quite a big moment. And then I think that also, I mean, obviously you can say that we like all the classics of the pop icons back in the day, but I think we both very much, I can't really speak for you, Jody, but I'm going to anyways, very...
you do it so well.
I think we're both very intrigued, put it that way, by music with as little words as possible, whether it's techno music or instrumental music, because it's just fascinating listening to something and seeing different people's reactions, which are completely different to the same piece of music. That's so. You may now add on to that.
No, 100%, exactly. That's exactly what I would have said.
Awesome. So like who are you guys looking forward to meeting still, in your music career? Is there anyone that you feel like you want to share the stage with, or are you guys basically just on a cloud right now and be like, wherever this goes, we're just gonna focus on what we're doing?
Lunga, to be honest, we've never been the type of people, and to be honest, we've been doing interviews probably, for but the greater part of, I'd say 7 years since we've done our first interview. And I think back then, especially, a lot interviewers would ask us, Varsity Radio and whatever we used to do back then. They'd be like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? 5 years, right? From then, we're now 7-8 years from then. And I don't think we'd ever said that we booking the amount of flights we're booking, playing for the clients we're playing. I'm talking, we juggling gigs at the moment. It's like, sorry, we'd rather not play for this company because we'd rather play for that company, or we'd rather fly to this country because we'd rather fly for this country, or whatever. Sorry, we're not in the city, we're not in the country for your gig. We'll be in this one. So literally the conversations changed on such another level. And you know what, for us, for the two of us, Callen and I, we're two cousins. I don't know if we even said that in the beginning, but for us as cousins and as entrepreneurs and as musicians and as South Africans and as colored people and as whatever we are, it's an amazing feat to experience what we're experiencing at this moment in time as entrepreneurs, as business people, as cousins, as friends. It's amazing. And we look at people like Trevor Noah and Black Coffee, who aren't strange to us. We very well, we've met them, we've spoken to them. Goldfish, Good Luck, the people in our realm, Jimmy Nevers, Craig Lucas, these people are peers. Mark Lottering, I mean, he's a mentor. And we look at the sphere that we're in, and we're just actually here to represent and we're just here to show that it's possible. That it's just, you got to live your life. You got to do the things you got to do. You're going to make the mistakes you got to make, but it's possible. Don't think it's not possible. Don't give up. I'm busy reading a David Goggins book at the moment, so I'm very inspirational, very fucking touched. Everything is possible. Just fucking go for it. Just do it. Just stop making excuses. Be hard with yourself, and just let's go. Let's start now. Let's go.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I don't think any of us really like. One thing that we are similar in is we don't really like to follow rules, with someone else's rules. And more so, like, I'm going to talk about for myself here now, but be it my rules, I don't like to box myself into anything. And the one question I always dread in an interview is like, what are your goals? I'm like, if we have to box ourselves in with, it's good to have goals, don't get me wrong. But if you have to box yourself in with it, that in 3 years, this is what I'm going to achieve, you're missing what you could achieve, like on a much bigger scale as well. So, and I think one thing that we've always done is to not only trust our guts, but also trust each other's guts and just trust the universe's guts. And it's just taken us,
Yeah, 100%.
And I know you guys like probably know quite a few musicians and other artists who are extremely talented, but you kind of see them, they're not really, I don't know how to phrase this, but I feel like it's almost like they're not getting it just yet. It's like they're missing something, that will help them propel to the next level. Do you think, what would you say in your own experience, what do you think is a kind of a collective mindset or something that you've seen now in musicians? And you're like, musicians, if only musicians did A, B, and C, this would like take to the next level. Is there anything like that you feel like, there's some kind of knowledge that you wish all musicians knew that can help them propel them to the next level?
Yes. I think that you first need to understand what you think the next level means. If you are chasing success, you need to find out what success means. Does it mean I want to have a career out of it? Does it mean I want to broaden my talent with it? Or does it mean I want to share my talent? Does it mean I want fame and fortune? Does it mean I want to have my picture in every magazine? You have to identify what successful is to you first, and then zone in on that, because I think people get very lost in success being, I have to be famous, which means that I have to be in every single magazine, I have to be in every single headline. You have to first find out what you want and then go for that. The second thing is to put in the work in the beginning. Like, I feel like a lot of musicians possibly don't want to do the hard work.
Yeah, no, that's so true. Anything from your side, Jody? Or do you
look? I 100%. Yeah. I agree. I'm just thinking about it because Callen obviously going first. I mean, you just take the answers away from me.
I'm sorry, I'll go second in the next 5.
Please, geez, Louise, because Callen and I, like, we worked hard, man. Lunga, I mean, it's easy to sit here and think why we deserve it to be on the Price of Fame podcast, along with the amazing people you've interviewed before us. What makes us worthy to be entertainment on your Tuesday night or whenever you listen to this podcast? But I think the reason is because we have paid our dues, and Callen speaks from a point of, like, we know exactly why we are here, and a lot of people might not, and but there's enough people out there that besides the producers of the show, that know why we are on the show speaking to you right now, Lunga, and that is because we've played the hard yards, we've done the hard yards, we've eaten the shit,
yeah,
and we're with pride.
Yes, I mean, happily so.
And we've worked for what we deserve. Yeah, that's life.
I think it's not. It's when you say we've eaten the shit. It's like it was fun. It really was. It was.
Yeah, it was.
Working our own jobs and studying in our own capacities, and then after that, playing Saturdays for 4 or 5 hours at a time. Literally, I don't even know if Jody actually knows this, but I started leaving our files of music at home on purpose so that we could learn all of our music out of our heads. Something like that. That's traumatic and tormenting. And
I didn't know that. No, thank you. Thanks for finally telling me. Yeah.
Confessions night.
Because it's like you think of something and you're like, okay, cool. Are we going to be the band that sits in the corner? No, let's get rid of the chairs. I think Jody was like, we're getting rid of the chairs. Now we're standing in the corner, but now there's a stand in front of us, and now we are playing classical music. People aren't really taken to that. How do we get some pop music in here? Right, cool. Let's get some pop music. Now there's no pop music available. Let's learn pop music. Let's write it out. But now, how do we memorize it? How do we get people to look at us? We need to stop looking down. Let's leave the music at home. So everything's an evolution.
Oh, wait. Then Callen says, he hears me beatboxing on the mic, and he's like, oh, wait, sorry. Can we get that, some more of that? And I'm like, wait, I don't do that.
Yeah, we didn't do that before.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I'm like, I don't do that. He's like, now you do. And here we go. And he did for the rest of his life. It's been 7 years. I'm still...
He's still going.
Yo.
No, really. It's a problem. I now talk to people. I'm like, hey, what's up?
It's a musical
beatbox.
It's a musical language. So much, gentlemen.
Yeah.
I mean, like I promised, I don't want to keep you here all night. Thank you so much for your energy and your time. I really enjoyed getting to know the real guys, behind this amazing journey that you guys are leading. And may you just continue to inspire people. What you have is unique and what is different. And you've seen it before. You make people happy and you bring smiles to people's faces. So, second last question. Oh,
Yes.
for my sorry, I think something come through. Oh, we have another voice note. Okay, before they leave. Cool. So we'll play another voice note came in from someone who's watching. So we'll play that just before I let you guys go. But for my second last question, is my favorite one. The one where I put you, I usually have, it's a one-seater time machine. So you guys are going to have to squeeze in there. So,
okay, we'll do it quickly.
I always ask my guests, So if I put you in this time machine and I turn it back to a time of a younger version of yourself, and I'd love to hear from both individuals now, to a younger version of yourself, right? Maybe it's a time where you felt like the younger version of you needed some advice or some guidance, and it's the version of you today, having walked the journey that you've walked, learned all the lessons that you've learned, and you have like 5 minutes to give the younger version of you some advice or some guidance. What would that be?
Okay, mine is easy. The younger version of, I would just say to the younger version of me, the troubles that you think that you have now it's going to be, forget them, because it's going to be troubles that are about 50 times harder. So don't worry about these ones. Start focusing on what you need to do to prepare yourself for the larger ones. Keep doing you. Don't worry about what they say. What they say means nothing. In fact, you're going to laugh at them. But don't listen to, but don't worry about that now. Just stay humble, keep your feet on the ground, and work fucking hard. Work harder than you thought you were working, or than that you thought it was enough. Yeah, that's what I would say to myself. But 5 minutes is more than that. But I'm keeping it to under 45 seconds. Callen, you go.
So, can I just
Callen
point?
was quite a brilliant. Wait, hold up. Callen was quite a brilliant child as a child. I wasn't that brilliant. I was quite cuck, actually. I was useless. Callen was actually an overachiever. This nigga, he did the thing. Lunga. He was the kind of child that made us look bad. You know what I mean? We'd look at him and be like, what am I doing wrong?
Student, teacher's pet.
Literally all of it.
No,
but
besides that, all of that as well. But also then, his parents, somebody take him to Disneyland, remember? Twice.
We're in South Africa. Huh? What South Africa?
What?
Bro, I went to Montague Springs. Anyway.
I went to go to Spa.
I went to Houdini Spa.
I'm sorry. Callen, take it away.
Firstly, I would also like to say that I've also been to Houdini Spa.
Once.
Probably once or twice.
Year.
You probably went with friends. You probably didn't. Your parents didn't take you there. You probably went with friends, being polite. Because your parents was to
No, man. I don't like where this is going. No, I'm joking. Do you know what? Before I answer your question, I just want to make another observation. I think I harp on this a lot, or I didn't realize I'm harping on that a lot, but I have this interview, is that how different myself and Jody think. So a lot of the things that he mentioned, for instance, like don't worry what people say and work hard and focus, is stuff that I think I kind of told myself a long time ago. But there's certain things that he kind of does automatically that I would tell myself, and that's one, take risks. Just take risks is something that a more sheltered person that puts his head down and focus doesn't really do. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think the attribute to our success is how different both of our minds work that interlink together for a thing. But in my 5 minutes, I would just tell myself to take a little bit more risks.
I like that. At least I could affect that. At least I could have caused that on your life, Callen.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, I feel like you guys balance each other perfectly. you know, in terms of like the mindset and the talent. Whatever you bring to the table is what is aligned with the next person. So you kind of like, you don't step on each other's toes. You in fact take each other next level.
But you know what? Honestly,
complement each other.
I just thought about this like now. It goes more than like the soft skills and the hard skills of life, and our personalities are so different. And literally, if you think just musically, right? Jody thinks in percussion and rhythm, which is very that. I think in melody and harmony, which is underneath each other. We literally think in vertically and horizontally, and just we are completely complement each other.
Why differently? Yeah.
Why exactly? Wire differently that complements. There you go.
And that's the beauty of music. You know, that's the beauty of art.
Also,
that's
Lunga,
the beauty of
just
art.
as a question, would it have been better if we did this? Or no, or is it not?
Yes, it would have. If your phone
Why didn't no one tell us this? Why did no one tell us this?
At the end.
We could have done this.
Hey! Let's do it again. Let's do it again.
Let's go again.
Let's do it again.
From the beginning.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight's guest is a dynamic duo that has messed up and only got together at the end. Guys, we could have done this so much more easier. You're looking like a pirate copy early on with those.
I know. I was just like, I should have taken the risk and turned my phone.
Take the risk, man. Take the risk. But it's okay.
Oh, shit. Oh, well. Anyway.
All right. Before I let you guys go,
yes.
Having so much fun with the guys. I feel like I know you already. Like we've been homies for quite some time. So yeah, remember me for that gig now. In case anyone asks you, hey, didn't you have a third guy? Maybe remember me.
Yeah,
will do.
Before I let you go, there's another voice note that came through, and like I said, we make sure that we hear it before it gets weird. So no fun for you, Jody, tonight. Cool. Saskia, can you please give a voice note?
Hey, Lunga, thank you so much for having the amazing Acoustic Element on your show. I came across them during lockdown and I've loved them ever since. They are amazing, talented musicians. And not only that, they are wonderful people, humble, kind, and just simply amazing. I absolutely adore both Jody and Callen.
We know exactly who that is.
And that's Leah, right?
Yes.
Some
stuff.
Know, well,
such a special person.
She's so sweet. She wrote a book, you know.
She has, and she's busy with the second one, a book of poems.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's an author. She's also currently teaching herself to play teaching or learning to play the double bass, and she played the violin.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay. But she's a very inspirational girl that has come, or lady that has come to all of our gigs in the past, and she just brings so much light and so much joy. And her favorite color is green. Look at that.
Oh,
look
okay.
Awesome. Yes, man.
Quick question before I let you go. And this is just a fun question. Are all of your friends autistic or into some kind of autism, or do you have some regular people as well?
You know, honestly, we don't actually have normal friends.
Our friends aren't normal. We don't have normal friends now. What's normal?
One's autistic.
How does normal work? What is normal?
I think I'm the most normal.
Nah, really? Wait, when they hit the music, you don't look normal at all, brother.
Abnormal talent for violin, yeah, maybe. But he is very normal other than his violin skills.
Yes. But all of our friends are quite creative, I'd say. All of them.
Yeah.
Which is great.
Guys, you know, somewhere in my life, I was like, wait, man, but all my friends are actually creative, you know? And it's just strange because it's not like you're like, I want to choose you to be my friend. I don't want you to be my friend. No, really
you just
find yourself gravitating towards certain people, and then you find out that you're creators, you know? So, guys, before I let you go, you know, I have to give you this bit of justice. Is there anything that you feel that you would love to share that I maybe didn't give you a chance to share, or I didn't ask a question on something specific and you guys maybe want to share that right now? Please do so.
Yeah, I actually do think so, yes. Big things, actually, Lunga, big things. So, yeah, I just wanted to say that Like it's very, if you've made it this far, then you can make it anywhere. Follow Jody's golf tips. Follow Callen's F45 training on our personal profiles. It's at HeyJody_. It's at he plays violin. Listen, Lunga, you just followed us as well. I just feel like everyone wants to follow us. Let's just follow us. Fuck Acoustic Element. They shit anyway. Don't get married. I'm kidding. Get married. We love you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for having us. What a fucking pleasure. Boom.
What?
I'm kidding. I'm still here. I'm kidding. Lunga, it's your show.
No. I love it. I love the energy. I love when people, and I'm sure people tuning in, we've usually seen you in a professional space, love to see the real you, because this is what we like. This is what we actually do when we're having fun, so you're representing a real person right now. So I enjoyed it. I'm glad you could recover quick. Callen, is there anything on your side?
I mean, I think you said it all.
Oh.
All right, guys.
Wow.
That's amazing, Callen.
What a pleasure, guys.
Hey?
What a pleasure. Thank you.
That's been incredible.
It's been so much fun.
Thank you so much, man. I wish you all the best with your career and moving forward. May you guys just continue to grow. May you guys meet so much more people who's going to take you another level further. And may you touch more people like you touched Leah's, So may you just continue on your Hey, I meant musically. Jody. May you touch more people musically and magically like you did, Keep doing your thing, guys, and hope to share the stage with you sometime. I mean, you guys seem like
would be incredible
people to hang out with, and it's just amazing to share the stage with you too. So looking forward to all of that.
We can't wait to see you soon at a gig, Lunga.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Yo, like you were saying earlier on, if the people are not following you just yet, where do we find you? Social handles?
At Acoustic Element, that's the main one, and then he plays violin and Hey Jody, yeah.
Is it Hey Jody or Hey Jody or Hey Hody? What is it, like the full one now?
It doesn't actually matter. All we care about is Acoustic Element. From there, it's Hey Jody right now.
There we go.
Ladies, I love you guys, honestly. May you get back to your party, Jody, Callen, get back to your peaceful night, and I'm going to go and have some bread.
Lekker. Thank you so much.
Hey guys, thank you so much.
Cheers.
Have a lovely night.
See you soon, boy.
Au revoir.
Thank you.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gents, from Acoustic Element, and that's it from myself. You know where to follow them. You want to be part of their journey. As you can see, they are fun people, so meeting them in person is going to be just as amazing as seeing them live. If you guys want to follow me, you can catch me at Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. That is Lunga Tshuka, the Energizer Funny. That is specifically for Facebook. On Instagram, you can follow me at Lunga Tshuka. For exclusive snippets of The Price of Fame Season 1 and Season 2, you can catch it also on Instagram at The Price of Fame ZA. That is The Price of Fame ZA. The link in the bio will take you straight to my YouTube page where you'll find the extended versions of Season 1 up until Season 2 of The Price of Fame episodes. And when you're there, like, share, subscribe. For those of you who prefer the audio versions of the podcast, you can also catch it on Apple, Spotify, and Anchor FM. And like you witnessed in tonight's interview and a few other interviews, that if you have a question or you would like to participate in the interview, you can do so at Anchor FM. Send us a voice note. We'll play it in the interview, and that's how you can be part of the show. But that's it for me from now, ladies and gents. Thank you so much for those of you who constantly tune in, those who constantly like and share, even the personal messages of encouragement. I truly appreciate and love each and every one of you guys. You bring the fire to me that makes me want to do more episodes. Thank you so much, and a very good night to each and every one of you. My name is Lunga Tshuka. I've been your host, and this is The Price of Fame.